Welcome back, crew, to Boats vs. Haulover, where man and machine take on Mother Nature down at beautiful Haulover Inlet in Miami. Some days are rough, some days are calm, and some days you get a little mix of both, kind of like we'll see today. But let's see how our captains fare as they step in the ring with the inlet. And of course, this is going to bring us to the first round of our contest. And here in the first round, the boats are going to toss a Grady White in the ring to see if they can go ahead and get on the board early. But let's go, round one, ring the bell. And our first crew is taking it easy. Cap's coming in just barely up on plane, and actually not even quite there, but it's not a bad running position. It's keeping the bow extremely high and leaving them in a safe spot, or no matter what, even if they hit some big yacht wakes or anything crazy right here last second, they're not going to stuff the bow or get into any trouble, and they're going to easily sneak their way into Haulover, claiming a win here in the first round, which will bring us to the second round of our contest. And here in the second round, we've got a mystery boat. Let me know in the comments what you think it is. It might be a Donzi, but I'm not 100% sure. But one thing I am sure of is we got a Haulover cowgirl, as we've got a bow rider in the front of this boat. Now, fortunately for her, she appears to be holding on okay, and Captain's obviously aware she's up there, but man, this is an absolutely horrendous idea. Forget approaching Haulover, approaching any inlet, or driving anywhere on a boat while it's underway. All it takes is one little thing to go wrong. You're in the drink, and this one ends badly. Even though she winds up making it in, I can't endorse this, and I'm going to wind up giving this crew a loss here in the second round. And that'll bring us to the third round of our contest. We are now tied at 1 apiece. Here in the third round, the boats are going to go ahead and toss an Asmint in the ring to see if they can sneak back on the board and take the lead. And here we go again. Nice little calm ride out. We've got some people up in the bow. The ladies spot the drone, and of course, like everybody in Miami, when the camera gets on them, they start trying to show off. Now, our crew winds up working their way out. This one's a little different than that normal bow rider situation. There are some rails around. I still don't typically recommend this because it doesn't take much again. If something goes wrong, especially while these ladies are up here trying to show off, things can go bad pretty quickly. But fortunately for this crew, they're able to hang on, and they will wind up taking a win for the boats in this one, as the ladies wind up laying back down and Cap gets to open up the throttle, and that's going to give the boats the 2-1 edge as we move into the fourth round of our contest. And here in the fourth round, the boats are going to toss a Regal in the ring to see if they can go ahead and try and close this one out early, or if Haulover is going to try and get back into it. So our crew has this boat absolutely loaded down as they're working their way out of the inlet, and they wind up stuffing it early right there as they blast through a wave. Cap keeps trying to work his way out, but we've got people in the bow of the boat, so he's got to use a little bit of caution as he's doing this. And unfortunately for him, right there, big stuffing, filling this boat up with water. Now, this is where things really can start to go wrong at Haulover. It's all fun and games to people when they get out there, especially when I see people trying to intentionally stuff the bow, which I don't believe he was doing here, is all of a sudden the boat gets full of water, like we see here, and the next thing you know, it's sitting lower in the water, and waves unintentionally are now going to come over because you're sitting in a bad spot. And as you can see, even the boat itself isn't really reacting the way this crew wants it to. You can tell already because of the way the water's in the boat. It's got a strong list to it, bringing that gunnel down near the water. Now, in this situation, if you've got a self-draining hull, you want to get up on plane and get that water moving. The problem in this situation, I don't believe this hull is self-draining. In other words, all of that water is now in the hull of the vessel, and he's completely reliant on bilge pumps to try and get this water out. And this is one of the reasons we don't typically recommend you take a boat out of the inlet that isn't self-bailing. If the boat can't bail itself out from water on the deck, typically those are the people who find themselves in the most trouble when things go wrong in the inlet. Fortunately for this crew, they're able to get the boat moving a little bit again. Unfortunately, you already know the rules. With all these stuffings, this crew winds up taking a loss down here at Haulover. And unfortunately for the boats, that means things are now all tied back up at 2 apiece as we move into the fifth and final round of our contest. Who will take the win in this episode? Will it be the boats? Haulover? Let's find out, as the boats are going to toss a Boston Whaler in the ring here in the fifth round to try and close it out. And here we go. Our crew's got her up on plane. moving. Everybody's got hands in the air. They are having a good time in a nice smooth ride as they work their way into the inlet. And unfortunately for Haulover here at the end is just a little too calm, and they wind up taking the loss, and the boats will get the win in this episode. Thanks for watching, crew. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Boats vs. Haulover. If you did, please check out our other content. We have Wavy Boats, who does a bunch of great things down at the inlets. My channel, Broncos Guru, does some great comedy boating videos there as well. And of course, we got the Miami Boat Ramps channel that focuses on all the hilarity that happens at the boat ramps in South Florida. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on the subscribe button.